Hello, my name is Victorious, and you're watching Roads to Victory. I decided to make this channel to create a video journal. I currently have a few brands running right now, so you can call me an entrepreneur. The brands are a cannabis life brand. I also currently work driving a truck for a redeem company. That means like the bottle deposit, the 5 cents on the bottle that you see. You probably seen all the little people around, with the little cart and stuff collecting the bottles. I buy it off of them. And I also own a beauty supply brand that has to do with online sales. Currently, my main focus is on the bottle deposit. And then after that comes my cannabis life brand, and I'm trying to resuscitate back my beauty supply brand. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as I planned, so I'll be telling you more about how that went along, different videos that I upload. I telling you a little bit about myself. I'm 35. I'm from Dominican Republic. I live in Queens. I have two cats. I got here when I was 7 years old. I met fast food, and I fell in love like at first sight. When I found out that we could have delivery being brought to the house, I was blown away. Like, oh my god! And yeah, that definitely because that's one of the things that I've had an issue with, and that's my weight. My weight's definitely something that I've been like working towards making the better choices. Granted, my physical doesn't really like portray that message, but as I'm getting older and I'm looking at things from a different perspective on like how every meal that I eat now can really affect me later on. So let me get into So the eating situation was definitely been like a downside for me. Another thing that I definitely need to work on is like being I don't enjoy being by myself, so I prefer to do things like this to be able to create a community. If you ask any of my friends, I'm the one who's trying to like put friends giving together so that we can hang out. Or I'll definitely say this: the day that anything ever happens to me, I will definitely be known as the person who was like, "Yo, how are you, bro? What's going on?" I try to keep in contact with my friends as much as I can. Mental health is very important, something that we don't really even talk about. But yeah, I'll speak on that later on the line too. So I was saying I got here when I was 7. Boom, I met America. Great. Growing up in New York, I always like once I hit high school, I had to get things on my own. It wasn't like, oh, mom, dad, like whatever. They were trying to do their own thing. That was like that's a whole different story on its own. So once I got to high school, I still had like a little allowance or whatever. Hey, here's a few bucks so you can go get a bacon and cheese or something. Then slowly after the economy started like going on, I think that was like 9/11 happened around that time. Things started taking like a swing. That money just wasn't like it wasn't enough. So in order for me to want to get like sneakers, certain clothes, or just anything that I was interested in at the moment, I had to hustle and do it myself. So that mentality has been installed in me due to being a product of my environment too, But I've always felt like that hustle was in me regardless. I'm very driven to like I can't just sit there. If I sit there, I tend to like mope, and I just can't. It doesn't work well with me. I mean, I wish it was like that when me thinking about going to the gym, which is not. But I still had that drive and that mentality like just really pushed me forward. I definitely did some things in New York that I'm not super proud of. I'm not really gonna get into that for legal matters. And but let me tell you a little bit more about like my background. I used to cut hair. I started cutting hair when I was 18. I really started doing this so I could gain a couple of more like couple of bucks, so I could buy a few things. Maybe like I wanted to chip in on on a blunt or something, and just whatever, any little bit of money I could get, so it can like feed whatever interest I had. That's what I was going for. I started cutting hair actually with the dope heads in the neighborhood. I only call them that because that's what they were. Like if you do dope every day, you're a dope head. Once I started cutting hair with them, it got to a point that I had to like move to Pennsylvania. Once I moved to Pennsylvania and things didn't go well for me there, that's when I really started taking hair cutting to like serious. I got fired from my job, and then once I got fired from there, I used my last paycheck to buy like equipment, to buy clippers, a trimmer, the basics, so I could like get into the barbershop and start pursuing this craft. I did that for a couple of months. Then I got arrested, so I had to like vamoose. Not for certain reasons, like where I had to like escape or leave. It was just it wasn't going well over there. People started looking at me weird, whatever. I'm not gonna get all into that. But that now, once I got to New York, right? I I started looking for a job. I was like, yo, let me go see what's up with the barbershops around here, so I can try to get a job and see what's up. I kid you not, the same day that I started looking, I found a spot. They were like, yeah, boom, let's do it. What I loved about cutting hair was that it felt new. I felt in charge. And I feel like that's a lot of the reasons why people get into doing hair and being able to do something with your hands and also be artistic in a sense. Like it's not like hair cutting is just like, I mean, personally for myself, I'm very passion driven. So I do tend to tie my emotions into what I'm doing, but I feel like that just makes things flourish more and allows me to pursue things in a grander fashion. Like it really, like if I had a meter on my chest that allowed you to see how determined I was, you could definitely get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So I got into into cutting hair full time. That was dope. Thank God for Instagram. Instagram definitely changed the whole outcome of how the barber industry communicated, the people that you got to see on there. I was able to see people that if I didn't like work at those barbershops or it wasn't something like word of mouth, you wouldn't hear about that. I think it'll be difficult unless you like made it on the news or something, or again, word of mouth was one of the biggest things around that time. So Instagram was super popping at that point. Barbershop Connect, I got into learning about everything. I slowly moved from one barbershop to the other. Once I felt uncomfortable at one place or whatever the case may be, I just kept searching and moving. That's one of the things that I feel like I did differently, where I just kept pursuing it. I have people around me tell me like, "Yo, you're bugging. You shouldn't do that. Whatever." But I use that as a drive, as opposed to trying to use that as an excuse. Like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Whatever." So, make a long story short, I got to work at my homie Willis's barbershop at Well Connected. You should definitely go check him out if you're in the city. So I got to work there. I met a group of amazing people, which are still my friends to this day. Fucking love them. And it definitely painted a different picture for me. I was charging a lot more money. Things were different. Like celebrities were around there. It felt amazing. It felt dope. Fast forward into that, I ended up working at my homegirl shop. Someone that I met there, her name is Lisa. Love you, Lisa. I started working at her barber shop, and as things started working, everything was cool. I started kind of like not unfalling in love with cutting hair, but I wanted to pursue different things. I kind of didn't. I didn't enjoy also being branded as just a barber, and by that I'm referring to like when. All right, let's put it like this: when you're a celebrity, right, and you do comedy, you get put in that shelf where all you do is comedy. You try to do horror, anything they're gonna portray you for that comic role. And that's kind of what I felt like. I felt like that's all I was able to bring to the table. Not I felt like, but people when they're like, "Oh, you're a barber. All right, cool." Mind you, being called a barber at the beginning was an amazing feeling. Like, wow, you're really deeming me your barber. Amazing, because it felt different. As you escalate and you do things, you definitely like get that. That you're getting that recognition feels amazing. But again, I didn't want to just be labeled a barber. I can do so much more. In my time, I had to learn how to also video edit. I had to learn how to shoot. I had to learn photography, videography, again, editing. I had to build things by myself. If I couldn't afford it, I had to go and learn it myself. That's it, plain and simple. There was no way around it. I mean, people that know me will tell you, I'm always trying to like include people into my ideas, but that's also because I can't do things by myself. I don't genuinely feel like I could just. And if I enjoy your company, if I feel like you see things from my perspective, I'm gonna want you to like join it, because why not? The more the merrier. Honestly, like I can't do this by myself. So as I keep going, I started thinking about, yo, how can I start making money while I'm in the barbershop cutting hair too? I always well what snapped was like, all right, cool. Let me how about I find a business that I could do, and what would it be? So it felt pretty natural when I was like, you know what? How about I start like how about I team up with the guy who comes to the shop? You guys probably have one of those people that come by and like they sell you the supplies and stuff like that. How about I team up with my guy who comes here? We open up a online business and help him escalate that, boom boom. At first my thoughts were like I could like help him do that, and I could start making some money off of that in a sense where like I would get like some PC or a percentage or whatever. I wanted to do something different. Also with cutting hair and going to different barbershops, I truly felt like I felt, and I did this. I just came to this realization like maybe like a year ago, where I've fallen in love with falling down and getting back up. I really fell in love with that. I fell in love with re reinventing myself. And every time I reinvented myself, there was a new add-on that like just made me better. So I took that with to the heart, and I genuinely love doing new things because it gives me new data. It keeps me on my toes. I guess I'm so adrenaline driven in that sense where that fight or flight situation that it just been installed in me so much that I don't know how else to move. So let me before I get lost. I got into all right, cool. I was like, let's do it with the whole situation with the website. I spoke to him about it. He agreed to it. Awesome. The supply company. I created a supply company. COVID came around, so around that time, it kind of felt supernatural because I was home. I wasn't doing anything, and because I mean, like, what else could you do? We were on lockdown. I was like, you know what? This is the chance for me to do something, and I decided to say, hey, cool, I'm gonna make the website. Awesome. I had scheduled a photo shoot with my homie so I can like go take some pictures. Found out I didn't even need to do that. All I had to really do was just go online, Amazon, take the images from there, load them onto my website, description, all that. Boom, excellent. Let's start making sales. Awesome. Through the pandemic, the sales were going, they were pretty good for a brand new business. I was blown away. I was getting $300-400 a day on sales. I was like, wow. I low key kind of got addicted to it because it just felt so dope. Like seeing this work that you have put together actually like working. That was very exciting. Moving along, I wanted to make my company different from others. So I started to like perceive on how things started are moving and like and how to make my company stand out from the rest. So I kept rattling in my brain, and I I was like, you know what? I don't see anyone doing anything in the beauty industry as far as waste. Not that I'm concerned of. The only waste that I really hear about is hair. Hey, if you're throwing away your hair, we'll recycle it and we can do something with it, right? Like they make weaves and stuff like that with it. Okay, great. But I don't hear anything about like how machines are being recycled, how anything's really being recycled. The again, no one's ever really spoken about that in the barber industry. I was definitely heavily into the barber industry. I went to all the events. I've never heard of anyone speaking on that fact of like, hey, let's help, reuse the tools and things that we have in hand already and etc. So I latched onto that and I created the I'll pick up your razors. I teamed up with a gentleman and we were gonna start a repair for clippers. Shout out to iCut Pro. If you're in Long Island, go check them out. I need to do some. I forgot the address. I can't call it right now, but iCut Pro. Todd, yo, I appreciate you, my brother. So, but the distance, like, it kind of. Make a long story short, I started venturing to other things because once the pandemic opened up, things started to really take a dive, and things weren't going as I wanted them to. Also, too, I wasn't getting access to clippers immediately. In the barber community, I've noticed that a lot of people, they want the new, what's now, boom. If you don't got it, then I'm just gonna go get it somewhere else. Once that occurred, that led me to looking. I was always curious on the people that pick up the cans in the street. I was always curious because I'm like, I wonder how much they're making. Like, how does that really work? And I started doing some research. So I went onto YouTube, and I do what I do because I've learned everything off of YouTube: how to edit, how to do everything. I've it's been through YouTube. Um, Once I started doing some digging, and I went to a YouTube rabbit hole. I found a gentleman, Gerald, my homie. He's my homie. He put me on to the company who I work for now. And his job, well, my job is to go around, find the people that they have these bottle deposits and purchase it off of them. So in the simplest term, what I can say is that the machines, the deposit machines that they have at the supermarket where people just throw their bottles and they get the 5 cent deposit. Well, that's me, but mobile. So I will come to you. But the thing is that we also have a limit. Like, we purchase in larger quantities. We don't buy 2-3 pieces here and there because I'm driving a truck. It costs more money to drive the truck than for me to go purchase those small amounts. It's not conducive, right? Maybe if I was in a bike or like a smaller vehicle, cool, that would be understandable, but that's not the case. Um, I started working at the company around that time too. I also felt like I needed some. I'll say this: being an entrepreneur, there was never constant stability. Um, Things will go up and down. If you're in the barber industry and you know how things go, unless you got a great uh, a great clientele that genuinely like loves what you do, they want to fuck with you and everything, and they really they support you. Not saying that people didn't support me, but regardless, that's not the case right now. Um, you'll understand that things move up and down. Okay, great. So with that stability, I was always trying to, but I also didn't enjoy working somewhere a 9 to 5. This is also why I pushed so much to being an entrepreneur. I didn't enjoy working at a 9 to 5 and having your manager look at you and be like, "Yo, I'm just gonna fuck with you today," because I had a bad last. Like, I'm not enjoying my day, so I'm gonna take it out on you. I never enjoy that. Also, too, things can happen. You might be late to work, and they'll try to fire you over some dumb shit. So I felt like I wasn't built for that lifestyle. So I always felt like I needed to just keep hustling. But I found this job. I enjoyed the schedule. It was very flexible. I mean, it still is. And yeah, I was like, all right, cool, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not a pretty job. You're not like working at a barbershop and all you're getting is hair on you or whatever. But you're definitely seeing what's happening in the backstage, like what's happening with the waste that is taking place. So again, that me learning, I mean, trying to become different with my barber supply company was what ultimately drove me to go do the bottle deposit, which I'm doing now. That is something that I definitely want to tell you about. I want to explain to you, like, with all my brands, I'm gonna start giving more in-depth information on what I've learned throughout my journey of getting a better understanding of how those industries work, and ultimately, again, showing you the mistakes that I've done, showing you my good and my bad. I've started to notice that in order for you to really get your message out there, you gotta start looking at things from a different point. I ultimately was looking at things from a point where I started looking at it like I was an investor, like I was a shadow investor, and I wasn't the product. I've now understood that I am the product. If I don't display myself and I don't display the things that I'm doing and just why I'm doing it, people won't be able to relate to that. And if they can't relate to that, then there's no sense of doing this. But I've always looked at social media in a funny way because I feel like we throw away our anonymity, we throw away our privacy. Not that I'm like being all extra or whatever, but it's just like it's the reality, you know. Like I see people like put stuff on Instagram that doesn't even make sense. It's just like, oh, let me just upload something, you know. It's kind of like that. Let me upload because I haven't uploaded, you know. But now that I'm looking at it from this perspective, I now have a purpose. I now have a goal to meet that encompasses more with what I wanted to do, and it really like sparked in my mind that I'm able to really understand now. Like, okay, cool, you're gonna post and you're gonna do all these things, but for a reason, not like because oh I just want like attention or whatever the case may be. Nah, I want to teach you what I've learned, and I want you to follow me on my journey to victory. I want you to I want you to be able to relate to what I'm doing. Like, I'm definitely a fuck up. Like, I've done things that aren't like I'm not successful right now. You don't know who I am, you know. So come take this journey with me. I would love if you, you know, follow me along, like laughed with me, cried with me, or everything. Like, I want to be able to put this out there. But there's a purpose. I'm not trying to sit here and fish and give people like a like oh yeah like a sob story or whatever the case may be. Like this is just me. This is real me. I want to show you who I am, and hopefully you follow me along with this. I really, I'm really excited about this channel. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm definitely again, I'm dealing with my weight, and I'm making better decisions every day. I'm trying anyway. Like it's hard. I love food. I really love it. So it's hard, and yeah, please just follow along with me. And yeah, let's go together. That's all I can really say. This is another reason why I love creating community-based things because this is where I'm at. Um, yeah, but as far as anything else about the businesses, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's. I think that's about it. Yeah. If I had to say anything, okay. One, two, three. The bottle business is definitely for people that don't have anything. And but I'll get more into that later on when I speak on like what the bottle business. All right, well let me just talk about it now real quick. So the bottle deposit business has taught me that you can do a lot with just a penny. Um you can do a lot with just a penny. Like these people, the way the bottle deposit works is the following. You buy your bottle at the store, right? You're paying the deposit on that. Once you pay the deposit on that, you're going to use your container, you're going to throw it out. Then either you or the person who finds the container, they're going to claim it. You'll get the 5 cents for doing that. The person whom is the one processing the bottle for you, whether they're a municipality, like I work for a private company, which we're part of the private sector, we they get a 8.5 cent processing fee. So they pay the 5 and they keep 3.5 on top. Again, off a penny, off a few pennies, you can do a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and people don't seem to see that, you know. And also, too, at the end of the day, you're helping the environment. Don't you want to help the environment? Don't you want to be able to like see things flourish and move forward and just be better in life? I think we all do. If you don't, hey, cool. That's your provocative, but I want to see things better. So as I've gotten older, I really want to make a difference. As I'm getting older, things really affect me a lot more because of my age, as far as like being in a demographic that ultimately, like, you know, I'm a grown ass man, so things that happen to in the world are gonna affect me either directly or indirectly. Yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why I also kept pursuing the subject on the bottles and doing it. I feel like I'm doing my part in it. And along in this channel, I want to give you in-depth information. I'm going to bring you along with me when I work on the truck, and give you some information that you might have been curious on, you might not have known. You'll maybe learn something new with me. You can teach me something new, and we'll learn together on this journey. Thank you. I appreciate you, and yeah, keep staying tuned.